Hello everybody, welcome to Arabella's Reading Corner. I'm Arabella and today we will be reading Orangutan Tongs, Poems to Tangle Your Tongue. Cranky Oyster. What annoys an oyster? What annoys an oyster? You can find the easy answer in the post. A noise annoys an oyster. A noise annoys an oyster. And a noisy noise annoys an oyster most. Oyster annoyed by noise. Wristwatches. I have a new Swiss wristwatch. So does my old pal Mitch. If you switched his wristwatch with my new Swiss wristwatch, could you tell which wristwatch was which? Felt hat. I used to wear a felt hat, and I felt the hat felt right. But I swapped it for a belt, although I felt the belt was tight. Now I felt a lot of felt hats since I swapped it for the belt, but I never felt a felt hat like the felt hat that I felt. Purple paper people. There are people who use paper that is colored only purple. They are in the Purple Paper People Club. If you want to join these people, first you buy a piece of paper. Just make sure your paper's purple, bub. So that guy brought in a piece of orange paper instead of a purple piece. Rotten writing. Reading writing when it's written really rotten can cause your eyes and intellect to strain. When it's written really rotten, writing is really rotten reading. Yes, reading rotten writing written writing really is a pain. Muesli. M-U-E-S-L-I.
Muesli.
Muesli. If you offer moose muesli, they'll thank you profusely, for a muesli makes moose feel grand. When feeding moose muesli, hold the muesli loosely to avoid getting nipped on the hand. Walter and the Waiter. Walter Witter called a waiter. Waiter, over here. I want some water, waiter. Water, waiter. Is that clear? The waiter brought some water. Walter Witter shouted, Wrong! This water's really watered down. I like my water strong. The waiter brought more water. Walter Witter was upset. This water's dry, said Walter. I like my water wet. Bring me wetter water, waiter, Walter Witter said. The waiter brought a pitcherful and poured it on his head. So that's Walter Witter, and that's the waiter. The Campbells. Even Ivan Campbell over embers ambly amble. Over amber embers ambly, they amble quite a lot. If you were to stumble on the embers, you would mumble. Even Ivan's oven never gets this hot. The surly soldier. Should you shove a surly soldier in the surly soldier's shoulder, this surly soldier surely will turn red. No, you shouldn't shove a soldier in the surly soldier's shoulder or the soldier's sure to hit you in the head. Pink kangaroo. Grab a ball, said the man. Hit the pink kangaroo. And threw one. Win through one. Won through one too. The prizes are all custom made in Peru. And won one. Win won one. Won one too. The bubble. The world's biggest bubblegum bubble was blown in the town of O'Toole by a kid named Mark Anthony Hubble, the bubblegum champ of his school. His teacher, Miss Treacher, was speechless. The class, it could barely sit tight, for Hubble's improbable bubblegum bubble was quite a remarkable sight. Drawings. Drew and Lou drew drawings. They both drew nicely, but Drew drew what Lou drew, and Lou drew what Drew drew, so nobody knew who drew what. So they both drew the same thing, and that is an enormous bubble. Two tree toads. A three-toed tree toad tried to tie a two-toed tree toad's shoe. But tying two-toed shoes is hard for a three-toed toad to do, since three-toed shoes each have 3 toes, and two-toed shoes have 2. Please tie my two-toed tree-toad shoe, the two-toed tree-toad cried. I tried my best, now I must go, the three-toed tree-toad sighed. The two-toed two-toed shoe, alas, remained untied. That one was a very good tongue twister. Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock at work. Peggy Babcock at play. Peggy Babcock tomorrow. Peggy Babcock today. Peggy Babcock repeated is tricky to say. Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. Peggy Babcock. Olay! Overeager ogre. It isn't pleasant dining with an overeager ogre, for overeager ogres often curse. And it isn't wise to anger an overeager ogre, for an angry overeager ogre's worse. So that's Peggy Babcock. Camp. I dreamt I camped in an unkept camp where the clothes were crumpled and the tents were cramped. It was so darn damp that I felt contempt for the unkept camp and the dream I dreamt. This zither. This is a zither, it has many strings. Whenever I play it, a hummingbird sings. Yes, I love this zither is fine. This zither of mine. Gus's gas. Why does everybody race to buy their gas at Gus's place, especially when the hill's so steep? My guess is Gus's gas is cheap. So that's a zither, but it looks like a harp. And then that's a very steep hill to get to Gus's gas.